Okay, so this is a new video and it's about focusing and defocusing of awareness. And I'm going to try to at least outline and give some sort of general sense or definitions, if to a point of focusing awareness and defocusing awareness, and really distinguishing awareness from other kind of processes or faculties or functions within the human being and the human life, that starting with this basic principle that awareness is this distinct, something distinct from the physical body, from the senses. It's something distinct from your psychological awareness, your psyche, your life energies, whatever you want to call it. And that awareness essentially has two basic modalities, one that's focused and one you can take it further and break it down further, but to simplify it, I'm breaking it down into two categories: that you can have awareness being focused or unfocused, or focusing or defocusing. And so this is just the starting point. And so I'm not getting into all the different types of focusing that you can do with your eyes and with your mind and all these kind of things, and your energy and all this. That's not my emphasis. My emphasis is awareness itself, and the fact that it can be focused or it can be unfocused, and that the kind of what links these two is a kind of a practice or process of defocusing awareness. So I'm predominantly going to at least try to get some sense of just a simple basic definition or description of focusing awareness and defocusing awareness, and just get a general idea of how that works, and then just kind of just lay it out as give a simple sense of these things, because I think it's relevant to the spiritual search, is to understand how it comes about, and that there is a shift in awareness, and it's a shift from focusing to defocusing. I think that's the key thing to set out at front. So what is focusing of awareness? It's hard to really define what it is. It's just to say that the end result of it is this experience, this sense that you are a human being, that you're a physical body, or that you're a soul or a psyche or whatever you want to call it, with a human body. I mean, that is the end result of focusing awareness. It's almost like the two become joined, that when you focus awareness, you enter into this experience, this perception, this perspective that you are your physical body, or that you are your psyche, or even that you're your soul, or that you're some energies that are flowing, But that's not really, that is an experience, and it has validity as a real experience, but it's not really true, because your awareness, when you defocus it, when it becomes unfocused, you have a totally different experience of yourself and a different perception of yourself. You understand yourself differently. So there's a certain, I think that's all I'm going to say on focusing awareness. Defocusing awareness is different. It is essentially taking your awareness and whatever it's focused upon and defocusing. Kind of, it's similar to with your eyes, where you can focus on a single object with your eyes, and then you can just kind of, get this defocusing kind of thing going. It's basically the best way to practice it with your eyes is spelled out in the Book of Five Rings by Miyamoto Musashi, where he says to look at near objects as though they're far, and far objects as though they are near. And this is a martial arts practice, but it's also a good practice for life, maybe even a spiritual practice to have a larger kind of view. But this is what you're trying to do with your awareness in spiritual practices. When you're defocusing your awareness, you're, instead of having your awareness focused on your body or your psyche or your any sensory kind of experiences or energy experiences or whatever, you're trying to have it be defocused, to become unfocused, to even displace it from your psyche or your physical body. So that's just a general sense of defocusing. I'm not going to go into detail. I just want to lay out the broad categories and just touch on them. Because I've went in detail in other audios and in a written form on the internet, so on blogs. So okay, here's focusing, here's defocusing. Now, the question is, okay, well, when you're talking about focusing awareness or defocusing awareness, how does that relate to psychology and spirituality? Well, when you focus awareness, you're going to have psychological experiences. When you defocus awareness, you're going to have spiritual experiences. I mean, it's really that simple. I mean, to be honest, to focus awareness brings you to a range of psychological and sensory experiences, all of which is valid. I'm not invalidating any of that. But if you want to have spiritual experience and spiritual awareness, you must defocus your awareness and come directly to spiritual awareness by that means. Another way to say it is when you defocus, when you defocus your awareness, and this is going to sound like, hopefully it doesn't sound redundant or paradoxical. I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to get free of all that. But in communicating these things, to get free of all the nonsensicality, which is so common in these things. But when you're defocusing awareness, you come directly to awareness, to the awareness of awareness. I think that's the best way to say it. When you're focusing awareness, you come to what we generally call consciousness, conscious awareness, conscious experience. Some people like Gurdjieff would say, well, you're technically conscious, but you're not truly conscious until you're self-conscious, until you have a more developed focus, self-consciousness, a more developed awareness that includes your whole life. But that said, even if that's true, it's still focusing awareness brings you to consciousness, this experience of conscious experience in your human life. And defocusing awareness brings you to awareness of awareness, which is awareness as this in its ultimate kind of sense, all of these terms, the absolute, the ultimate, the infinite, whatever you want to call it, that's everywhere. So going further, where am I going with all this? Not really anywhere. I'm just kind of touching on the ideas, but when you go back and you look at the methodologies relative to spiritual awakening, enlightenment, etc., the bulk of them are founded. I don't know if they're directly derived from Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, but I do think that if they're not derived from them, they're influenced by them or informed by them, or they have similar kind of premises, essentially explicitly or implicitly present within their practices. And pretty much the perspective that's laid out in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras is that of focusing. And the problem with that is, well, as I've pointed out, if you focus your awareness, you come to consciousness of your body, your psyche, life, etc. If you have to come to spiritual awareness, you have to defocus your awareness or displace it from your body and your psyche. So the basic premise of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras is based on this incorrect model or methodology, which actually is not, it's taking your awareness in the wrong direction. It's not to say that that approach can't work, that it can't bring you to enlightenment experiences. The problem is that in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, there's an emphasis upon the object rather than that you're focusing upon. You're focusing on an object. Maybe it's whatever. It could be another human being. It could be a thought. It could be emotion. An emotion. It could be an object. It could be a candle flame. Whatever. It could be a mantra. Whatever you're focusing on, you're focusing on that object until you reach absorption. But I think that emphasis is mistaken. The object is not important. What is important is not even the absorption in the object. What is important is the awareness that underlies the object. So instead of focusing on objects, the correct methodology is to focus on awareness. And the way to do that is not by focusing on focusing more, it's by focusing less. So, i.e. defocusing. So, so that's one distinction that I think is not, is not present in the yogic perspective, and in many of the spiritual traditions. Also, what can happen, though, is by following that practice, you can come to awakening, but you're going about it essentially with the wrong emphasis. And that's a very important point. If you get the correct emphasis, and instead of focusing on the object, you get behind the object, then you'll come much more directly to spiritual awareness. The other thing that I wanted to just, I think, touch on, I noted this, and I don't know exactly what I was getting at, but this thing of the nature of phenomena and the nature of awareness. When you understand the nature of phenomena, that they're, changing, transitory, etc., and that the nature of awareness is changeless, it does give you kind of a potential through any kind of practices, whether you're doing a focusing practice or a defocusing practice, to come to a correct understanding of the nature of phenomena and a correct understanding of the nature of awareness. And so it's not to say that you cannot use focusing on phenomena and experiences to see through them. But again, from my perspective, if you want to come to enlightened awareness directly, focusing awareness is a roundabout way to do it. And the correct way to do it is to get directly into defocusing awareness and to get directly into the experiencing of the nature of awareness directly through self-awareness. And so I hope this helps kind of flesh out other things that I've written, as well as in my blog, as well as things that I've put up in other videos. And I may add some more detail through other videos. So I hope this is helpful. Thanks.